Okay, so here we are, and the end of another successful Louder Than Life 2017 with my first mate, Brian, over here driving. For the last 3 years, I have put Brian to work, and somehow he keeps asking to do it again. He comes with me, carries gear, takes photos while I'm doing interviews, and he seems to be pretty happy with it. I don't pay him, but it's some pretty cool opportunities hanging out with some pretty awesome people. I gotta tell you, we had a blast this weekend, as we always do. For the first time in the 4-year history of Louder Than Life, the weather was absolutely picture perfect. Usually we get one day that's cold, wet, rainy, and muddy, and it was amazing this weekend. It was absolutely perfect. Saturday, I got to talk to some really great bands. I got to talk to Dead. I got to talk to Through Fire, which that conversation with Justin, I love you. Of course, they were once known as Emphatic for all of my Nebraska fans, and the first thing that I got to say to Justin was, hey, I'm a born and raised Nebraska girl, and we tried to high-five over a Go Big Red, and he stopped. He's like, I can't high-five you over that because our team sucks right now, but I will high-five you for being from Nebraska. And then we got to talk about, I brought up Emphatic, and he about peed himself. And then I brought up shows at the Ranch Bowl, which he almost peed himself a second time with all of that. But great interviews with both of them. Had a great day yesterday. It was probably the first time that I was not completely swamped. Got to do a few interviews, got to go out and check out some of the bands. Hailstorm, Lizzie, Joe, RJ, Josh, I love you guys. Never ceases to amaze me what you can do on a stage and how well you can command people. Bummed out we didn't get to hook up for an interview or anything like that. I know you were pressed for time. I got to see Detroit though, so that was awesome. Love you too, girl. But the show was really killer. Dead, of course, was amazing. Through Fire was amazing. Rob Zombie, it's one of the best shows I've seen. The last time I saw Rob Zombie, we decided it was in Nashville, right, Brian? Last time we saw him, and it really wasn't that good. But this year, it was great. He put on a really good performance. Sounded good. Seemed into it. Didn't seem like he wanted to be somewhere else, which I've seen out of him before. Five Finger Death Punch impressed the shit out of me. I was really kind of wondering if we were going to be witnessing some sort of derailment, as it's been no secret that Ivan Moody has had some troubles. And he's been like in this on-again, off-again relationship with Satan. But I'll tell you what, he looks healthy. He looks happy. He was smiling last night. He was genuinely full of gratitude for not only his band, but the fans for standing by him through all of his troubles. So I'm hoping that means that Ivan is sober and he's going to stay that way. Because I'll tell you what, when that boy's on his game, he's on his game, and they sounded fantastic. Ozzy was a little rough. No disrespect to the Prince of fucking Darkness. I've seen Ozzy a lot of times, and last night was by far the worst. And it wasn't anything that could have been helped. His voice was blown out. I know somebody made a comment today that, around this time of year, Ozzy gets sick or has allergies. And I will tell you this time of year, in this area of the country, tobacco season, there's a lot of smoke in the air. There was a lot of dirt in the air, too. I mean, I know that I've had some fun colors of stuff coming out of my nose and been stuffed up and had some sinus headaches. But by the time Ozzy got into Mr. Crowley, which I think was like the second or third song, he literally sounded like a squeaky toy. It was really sad. I'm kind of bummed out that they didn't have Zakk Wylde's mic boosted up a little bit and just let Zach sing it, because you know that he can. So we actually ditched out last night after about 5 songs and went back to crash out because I knew I was going to have an unbelievably long day today. I had 8 interviews that were scheduled today. The only one that I didn't get to do was Beartooth. Really bummed out about that. I was super excited to talk to Beartooth. Not just because they're an amazing band, but because, as you know, the new single Sick of Me that we've been playing, if you've not seen the video for it, that video starts out with a gentleman that I absolutely adore. His name is Ernesto Rodriguez. Some of you might know Ernesto from Clarksville and maybe the local media, or maybe, I don't know, the national media. Ernesto started on Veterans Day of last year. He did a 22-mile ruck march, portion of a 22-mile ruck march that I was involved in, and then proceeded to walk 2,200 miles to raise awareness for veteran suicide. So Ernesto was one of 3 people that were featured in the Beartooth video. So I was really like hoping to get to sit down with Beartooth and talk to them and be like, dude, Ernesto says hi, and let's talk about that stuff. But they got in really late. They basically had enough time to get loaded in and get ready for their set today. So hopefully I'll get a chance to reschedule with them. Some of the other bands I talked to today, I spoke with Black Map. They were awesome. Joyous Wolf. Now this is a band that they're brand new for the most part and are unsigned, and were on the main stage today. They were fantastic. If you're a fan of bands like Deep Purple and Cream and that classic rock stuff, but with a little more modern feel, kind of like you guys that like Greta Van Fleet, you will dig Joyous Wolf. Make sure you check them out. Mountain Man is their song that's on YouTube. They were super cool. The boys from Radkey, I was tickled to death to sit and talk to Radkey, because when I first heard Dark Black Makeup, I'm like, oh my god, this sounds like a Misfits song, and it's amazing. They were really cool. Falling in Reverse, I am so unbelievably blessed that I got to speak with them, because they did one other interview, and that was with Loudwire and then me. So I had a few jealous people around me, but I was really thrilled and super thankful that I got to talk with Falling in Reverse. They were awesome. Christina from Lacuna Coil, what can I say? The woman is gorgeous inside and out. She, like me, is a tomboy and owns that shit, but she was so nice. She's probably one of the most humble, down-to-earth, real people that I've ever met, and so that was fun to hang out with her today. I got to have an interview as well with Rise Against. I'm a big fan of theirs. I got to speak with Joe, their bass player, today. And that was one of the few interviews I was nervous for. I've been doing this a long time. I don't normally get nervous with people that I talk to. But there was something about Rise Against for me, and I don't know, I can't really put my finger on it as to why I was nervous about it. But I was nervous about it. But it went really well. I was really excited about it. And one thing I try to do in my interviews is, instead of being like, you know, here's my question, what's your answer? I try to have a conversation, just 2 people sitting down bullshitting over a table. And with Joe, with Rise Against, one of the most fantastic parts about it is we both got to talk about our love of punk rock music. And a lot of the bands that influenced them are the same bands that I got into when I discovered the world of punk rock music when I was in like 7th or 8th grade. And bands like, you know, The Descendants and Black Flag and, you know, Minor Threat, Fugazi, all of that, Bad Brains, a lot of the DC punk. So it's really cool, and I will tell you tonight, we'll come back to that DC punk with Rise Against, because there's a story to go with that too. My biggest surprise for today, I put in for an interview, I got denied an interview, but because of 2 amazing people that I am blessed to call not only like colleagues, but friends and amazing fucking human beings, Chris Frank, Ad Rock, Adam Lebensfield, did me a huge fucking solid today and brought me in this moment. Sorry kids, not Maria Brink. Maria was off doing Maria things, but the fact that they were not going to do any press at all, and I got to sit down with Chris and Randy and Travis today. Wow, what can I say? It was cool. We got to go back to the old days, and they actually remembered a couple of shows that we talked about in the city of Des Moines, Iowa. One of them being at the House of Bricks, and then one on Music as a Weapon with Disturbed. So great conversation there. I am so blessed and so thankful to Chris Frank and to Ad Rock. I love you both. You're the bestest friends anybody can have. And no, I will not start singing the Zach Galifianakis songs right now. Show-wise today, I missed out on a lot of shows, but I'll tell you who I did see on stage, which was Stone Sour. My homeboys, man. I love them. They sounded awesome. Corey looks fantastic. Something pretty special about seeing 30, 31, 50 in an environment like this. Rise Against, holy shit. I would think today, of all of the bands that played and even the ones that I missed out, I was most excited about Rise Against. They didn't disappoint. The really cool part was that was probably the biggest mosh pit that I saw the whole weekend for the bands that I did see. And what was really cool, there was this family. The husband and wife, they're probably both at like 5 foot tall. They were short. And then they had 4 kids with them. 3 little girls and I think a little boy. It was hard to tell. There was a cow outfit on. But the entire time that Rise Against was on the set for an hour, these little girls and these kids were crowd surfing the entire time. One would go up, then the next, and the next, and the next, and then mom would follow and dad would follow. You've heard that old adage of the family that plays together stays together? Fuck that. the family that crowd surfs together stays together. It was so epic. I got a little bit of video and some photos of that. Incubus sounded great. Yes, ladies, Brandon Boyd took his shirt off about halfway through. The most impressive of the weekend as well was Prophets of Rage. And I know I, for one, when this band first came out, I wasn't really sure what to expect, because you're literally talking about Rage Against the Machine. You're talking about Tom Morello, Brad Wilk, and Tim Comerford from Rage Against the Machine teamed up with Be Real from Cypress Hill and one of the best voices in existence, and that is Chuck motherfucking D. That dude could read me a cereal box and I would love it. I absolutely love that man's voice. So they got on stage, they opened up with their self-titled track, Prophets of Rage, but I'll tell you what, they covered a good chunk of the Rage Against the Machine catalog. They did this great little, as they called it, hip-hop school was in session, and they busted out some Cypress songs. They busted out some Public Enemy, and they busted out some House of Pain. It was really amazing. The most chilling portion of the night was shortly after the hip-hop session, was Tom Morello came out on stage on his own. He was all by himself and kind of thanked the crowd for being there and talked about everything, and then he brought up Chris Cornell. And I think he's probably the only person this weekend that brought up Chris Cornell, and there were plenty of other people there that were friends with Chris, that toured with Chris, and are definitely hurt by the loss of Chris Cornell. As you know too, those members of Rage Against the Machine, Tom, Brad, and Tim, were in Audioslave with Chris Cornell. So Tom took a moment to recognize the loss of Chris and then said, we're going to play this one for Chris. And they broke into Like a Stone, but just them. It was all instrumental. There was nobody to pick up the vocals. In fact, what they did was shine 2 spotlights on an empty microphone stand. And it was the most beautiful, haunting, joyous and sad thing all at once. Like, there were so many emotions. I filmed it, and all I could do was literally just bite my fingers through it. It was pretty something really special. I can't even really describe it. It was really cool. But anyway, it's been a crazy weekend. It's gonna be pretty late when we get back home, but for once in my life, I decided, hey, you know what you should do? Take a vacation day instead of getting home at 4 o'clock in the morning and trying to go to work. Fuck that. When I get home, my phone is getting turned off. I never turn my phone off, but I'm turning my phone off. So if you want to text me, call me, message me, Facebook, whatever, you're going to have to fuck off till I wake up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mom. And hopefully there's no emergencies at work, because I ain't doing it. I'm shutting the phone off and crawling in with my fur babies. Oh, fur babies. Shit, I almost forgot. A big shout out to, first off, Hayes from Take Me Home. Fantastic organization. Look them up. I've actually made a couple of posts with her, tagged them. Check out their organization. They are based out of California, but they are all about getting homeless pets off the street, getting them adopted, all about the rescue. They go around and they do all these rock festivals, and they get drum heads and guitars and all these things signed, and they sell t-shirts and all of these things. All of the proceeds go to help control not only the animal population, but find homes. And then they do this really cool thing where they have RVs that are like mobile animal hospitals. And it costs about, I think she told me, $3,500 a day to rent out this RV and send it out. And they'll go into places like low-income neighborhoods and people who maybe have an animal, can't afford to go to a vet, don't know how to go to a vet, whatever. And they will, neuter, spay, they'll vaccinate, they'll microchip, do all those cool things. Hayes is an amazing woman. Her organization is fantastic. Those of you that are my Rockstar friends, I will be calling on you because I told her I would do what I could to get stuff signed, autographs and whatnot for things that they can auction off and raise more funds. She was fantastic. Some great shirts. I'll be posting pictures of that stuff too. And to Wes from Angels Envy. Angels Envy came on the scene about 3 years ago. They were a sponsor at Louder Than Life, and they came around with these great little bottles of fantastic bourbon that they do small batch, and then it's aged in port wine barrels, so it gives it a whole new dimension. And then they've got a rye whiskey that they do in rum barrels, which, Wes, I'm gonna bust your balls right now, because last year I did an interview with Wes and my MP3 died, so what we recorded never made it to daylight. So I was really ecstatic to sit down with Wes again this year and talk, because last year when we did an interview, the Angels Envy Distillery was not open yet. It's open now. And they've got some amazing beverages coming out of that place. So if you can check them out, do so. But Wes, this is the second year in a row now. You said you were going to bring me a sample of that rye rum mixture. And dude, you forgot me. This is my sad face. It's my Patty sad face. So hopefully next year we can hook up. Christine and Mike and all of the crew from the promotions company that helped coordinate the interviews and all the Ashton Meganson. There we go. Ashton Meganson. What they do every year, man. These guys go to all of these festivals and coordinate all of the radio, all of the publications, the podcasts, the web things. They help coordinate the area for all of us to like come in every year and do all of these interviews. And without them, none of this would happen. We would just be out being regular people in Gen Pop. So I'm very, very gracious to them. And of course, last but not least, Danny Wimmer. Dude, you are the shit. If you don't know who Danny Wimmer is the same guy who does Rock on the Range, Rocklahoma, Welcome to Rockville, Carolina Rebellion, all of those big festivals that rolled through the month of May. Danny Wimmer is the evil genius behind those. And 4 years ago, Danny decided, you know what? We've got this great circuit that goes during the summertime. We need to do something for fall. So there's Sonic Boom that happened yesterday in Wisconsin, Louder Than Life today, and there's a few others that he's involved with as well. And so without a guy like Danny Wimmer, who lives, eats, sleeps, and breathes the rock and roll industry and putting festivals like this together, dude, things like Ozfest don't happen anymore. Warped Tour is its own animal, but to have a festival that caters to those of us that are hard rock and heavy metal fans, without Danny Wimmer, we wouldn't be able to do this. And he's built quite the empire for himself. So between the two stages, main stage is the Monster stage and the Loudmouth stage, the Zorn stage, which hosted all kinds of people, it was fantastic. The food was fantastic. Monster Energy, thank you so much for getting us through the last 2 days. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do it, and I know a lot of the artists feel the same way. Am I forgetting anybody? He's looking at me going, Jesus Christ, woman, you've been talking for 17 fucking minutes straight. But it was either doing a 17-minute video or trying to type all this out. You be the judge. Which was the lesser of the two evils here? Would you want to read all this, or would you want to watch all this and be like, Anyway, everybody involved, we thank you so much. All the artists that took time out, everybody that made everything happen, the fans that come out and make it amazing. I can't wait for next year. I mean, it's kind of sad that it's over, but I gotta tell you, I'm tired. I'm ready for a shower. I'm ready to blow all the dirt out of my nose, and I think the contact highs have finally worn off. God damn, there was a lot of weed. Damn, there was a lot of weed. It's a rock show, man. What are you gonna do? So I hope everybody enjoys. There will be, all of the interviews that I did will be coming to podcast. I'm going to put them up on my podcast page at z975.com. It's going to take me a little bit, so when I get back to work on Tuesday is when I'll start working on those. And I will get them posted up as fast as I can. And each time that I post one, I will post it on not only my Facebook page, but the Z97 Vibe Facebook page. And I took a lot of photos and videos of some of the bands, so as soon as I can get that stuff downloaded, I will. You're just going to have to be patient. Like I said, tomorrow is a dead day. Dead day. So, thanks for checking it out, guys. Love you all. Thank you for your support and all your kind words with everything. And of course, this motherfucker over here driving, Brian, for not only driving, but man, he's been my saving grace for taking pictures, and I guess we'll call him, he's been my engineer, because he's been taking care of gear and making sure that I get a break to go pee and grab a beer. So that works there. Thank you, guys. I love you. Make sure you check out Louder Than Life and all of my goodies coming to the web soon. We'll see ya.